The outdoorsman dishes out the food. With calabash bowl in hand, he enjoys this delicious one-pot meal he had prepared earlier. Ocean waves crash against the shore. He arrives at the cookout spot carrying 3 bags of everything he needed for the day. He is about to find the perfect area beneath some trees which provides a fair amount of shade. As he rests his bags on the dry leaves, he considers that the hill is a bit steep, but fortunately, it's away from the main walking track and secluded. No one can disturb him here. He is getting ready for the Creole cooking to begin. The coal pot must be well placed because one can't afford it falling with all of the lunch. The soil is leveled so it can sit still. The clay coal pot is positioned so that charcoal can be poured into it. The outdoorsman lit many fires as a child. All he needed was some toilet paper and vegetable oil. Stoves were not as common as they are today, and even though one had bought one, the clay coal pot remained part of the tradition and culture. It was a great way to save cooking gas and money. With match and matchbox in hand, and toilet paper partly soaked in vegetable oil, he waits for the wind to subside and strikes the match. Success! The fire lights. The coals are positioned to allow the fire to catch fully. The outdoorsman hopes that it won't rain, bearing in mind that he wasn't able to build a tent earlier. That would provide some measure of shelter. Today is bright and sunny, so he has nothing to worry about. As he washes his hand, he ponders how much he loves it here. Lighting charcoal is not as straightforward as lighting a gas or electric stove. You may have to fan it or use your mouth to blow into it. It takes a fair amount of effort to keep such a fire lighting, especially at the start. You use whatever is available to fan it, whether your hat or the styrofoam that contained the turkey you're about to boil. As soon as the fire begins to blaze, the outdoorsman can begin focusing on pouring the lentils into the pan, adding water, and putting it to boil. Just make sure the coals are level so the pan can sit properly on the blazing clay coal pot. It's time to put the lentils and turkey on the fire. This afternoon is cooking a Creole bouillon or one pot. It's perfect here. You hear the relentless but relaxing sound of the ocean in the background. Soon, tourists will be passing by to ask what is cooking and see how good the food smells. Locals will be walking at the top of the hill, see what he's doing, and say how cool it is for him to be cooking at the beach, particularly on a coal pot. He's doing so much better than them, they say. They had brought pre-prepared meals that someone else cooked. With the turkey and lentils already boiling, he begins washing and chopping a green pepper and carrot. He had walked with a chopping board, but there was no time to find a rock to place it on. And since it wasn't too much food being cooked, chopping it in hand would have been much quicker. He never cooks without onions and garlic, and today will be no different. Shortly, the chopped green pepper, carrot, onion, and garlic will be ready and waiting to be added to the boiling pot as soon as the turkey and lentils are fairly cooked. You hardly need any potatoes when you have flour that you can knead into dumplings. All you need is some water. You may add some sugar into the flour, but for health reasons, leave it out. Leave out all the salt as well. The dumplings will be salted by the boiling sauce. Dumplings usually need very little water. You don't need them as soft as you need bread, for example. You want them hard. But this means that the baking would take a little longer. So he rushes the process until the dough is hard enough. Timing is an important part of the cooking process. Otherwise, you may overcook or undercook certain ingredients. The lentils and turkey are sufficiently boiled so that the vegetables and seasonings can be added. Not too much salt, just a little. With everything moving along smoothly, he takes a break from the cooking and walks to the ocean. The sun blazes over the waves as they move in and go back out. He washes the sticky white flour from his hands, and his heart is filled with gratitude as he thinks of how privileged he is to be able to enjoy such nature in all its splendor, particularly this beautiful Caribbean beach on the island of St. Lucia. He is grateful for the sunny weather and recognizes how freezing cold it is in North America, Europe, and other parts of the world. The food should be almost ready for the dumplings to be added. He rolls the round dough into thin loaves and chops them up into a dumpling shape that is not typical. You can knead the flour again into small balls, or you can choose the quicker way of chopping them up. He learned that time saver from Mom. He checks its progress. He stirs and stirs. Nothing must stick at the bottom of the pan, and everything must be well cooked. He reaches into the pan with a small metal spoon. Delicious. How about some ketchup? He thinks about what people went through back in the day. Everything is so much easier today with our gas and electric stoves. With a stove, as soon as you light it, you're set. The fire in a coal pot may need to be fanned intermittently if there's not enough wind to keep it blazing. Today, he was not exempt from this challenge. The dumplings can now be added. How about a grapefruit? He had brought some sugar to make some juice, but saw no point in doing this extra work. Too much sugar is bad for you. It's healthier to eat the plain grapefruit, and it saves time. He peels, cuts, and enjoys. What a day it has been. He had almost given up earlier when that tent couldn't be built. At the next cookout, he will come in the morning instead, and will have more time. Today, there's a curfew at 6 p.m. and he has to leave before sunset. The food is now well cooked, and the eating can soon begin. He dishes it out into a handmade calabash bowl. It's so important to get away from the hustle and bustle and spend time at the ocean, near a river, in the forest, or any other nature spots one can think of. Today was a successful day. He will sleep peacefully tonight. He is already planning to do this again at a different location. The outdoorsman chooses a rock by the beach to sit on and enjoy a delicious meal while pondering the beauty of nature. Ocean waves crash against the shore. Thank you for your time. Please like, subscribe, and comment. God bless you, and all the best.